California is the biggest prize in the country in national elections. It's the biggest prize in the country in the primaries as well. And the California primary, as well as New Jersey and a bunch of other smaller states, are all happening on Tuesday, June 7th. 546 delegates at stake on the Democratic side. How is it looking? Well, depends where you want to start. Bernie has been surging, right? We're not quite ready for this yet, Lewis, though. Let me filibuster for a bit before we get into that. Bernie has been surging. He was at 35% back in March, 40% in mid-April, now coming in average at about 43% in California. Everything has been put on California for the Bernie Sanders campaign to the extent that he still has a shot, which not everybody believes he has. There is a mathematical possibility, but of course it is not likely. The big news is a new NBC Wall Street Journal poll, which says this is a statistical tie in California. Hillary 49, Bernie 47, within the margin of error based on likely Democratic voters. Now, likely Democratic voters. We know that a likely Democratic voter model favors Hillary Clinton based on the sort of insurgent nature and skewing young of the Bernie Sanders campaign. But let's not focus on one poll. Let's look at all of the polls in context in terms of what's going on in California. As of this morning, we are ready. This not quite it, though. That's a tweet from Bill Kristol. I believe we do have it. There it is. As I mentioned, the NBC Wall Street Journal poll, 49 to 47 Hillary Clinton. We have the field poll, 45 to 43 Hillary Clinton. In a KABC poll, Clinton over Sanders, 57 to 39. In a PPIC poll, 46 to 44 Hillary Clinton. Missing from this graphic for some reason, which I don't know, the average of recent polling from Real Clear Politics. If Lewis checks today's notes, he will notice that it is indeed there, but we have had what we call incongruency of expectations, as I like to say. The Real Clear Politics average, Hillary Clinton, 49.3, Bernie Sanders, 43.3. Lewis, are you ready to issue an apology?
It's there. There was a very large space that I did not see that there was anything after that space.
Right.
However, there was.
The great thing about it, Lewis, is your error today is almost irrelevant in the sense that whether it's 50-45 Hillary or 50-45 Bernie or 60-40 Bernie or whatever, this is not going to change the delegate math in a significant way. All along, the argument has been, even if Bernie only wins by a little, it's momentum. We're at the end, right? So unless by momentum you mean winning California would give Bernie Sanders a better pretext under which to try to sway super delegates, which I guess is a case you could make, even a 60-40 win for Bernie Sanders mathematically is not going to drastically or materially change this race. That's just math. It's not my opinion.
Yeah, the Bernie campaign, the Bernie people were getting very excited. I'm seeing headlines that say California can swing the primary race, can swing the election.
I don't know exactly how.
Yes. Well, if Bernie got 100% of the vote,
that would be something.
It would be something.
Yeah.
No, not going to have a huge impact, but I still hope Bernie does well.
Another interesting note from the NBC Wall Street Journal poll that came out yesterday, that poll says that Californians who have voted early have voted for Hillary Clinton over Bernie Sanders by a 58 to 41 margin. On the one hand, that's interesting. On the other hand, Hillary Clinton often wins the early voting in many states. That doesn't necessarily tell us what the final tally is going to be. This is a sort of mathematical reality. The argument is if Bernie can really do well next Tuesday, maybe he can make a case to superdelegates or keep this going beyond a first ballot at the Democratic National Convention. But I've been clear, Lewis, I voted for Bernie in Massachusetts. I am not the problem by saying it is a mathematical reality that this is basically done. It's been basically done for a while. Is there a miracle scenario where Bernie wins this thing?
If Hillary dies, yeah, or that indictment happens,
yeah,
or any number of skeletons in her closet come out,
yeah,
to the point where the party has to say, oh, we clearly just can't have Hillary be our candidate, the nominee.
So you're talking about arguments on the margins here.
But that's what we're talking about.
Fringe possibilities. Yeah. No, I agree with you. It is fringe at this point. But that doesn't mean, when people hear me say this and they get mad, this doesn't mean that the Bernie movement has no influence at the Democratic National Convention, right? I mean, winning the number of states Bernie won and accruing the number of delegates he accrued, you will have some negotiating power and clout at the convention. There's no doubt about that. I don't want to misspeak and say, hey, it's like Bernie never ran. No. This is a candidacy that has had influence.
And when you have a certain amount of success as a Democratic or Republican candidate, I mean, you just see it through. That's just what you do.
Yeah.
And Bernie was up there.
After the break today, we will be taking calls from the audience. We are going to be doing this again next week, Lewis. So for people who like the idea of calling into the show, you can talk to us, right? Instead of leaving a voicemail, we will take calls. Next week, we will be doing it Thursday, which will be Thursday, June 9th. At 1:15 p.m. Eastern Time. The number is 617-830-4750. We are not screening, Lewis. Trolls could get on. Anybody could get on. And hey, you know what? That's okay, because this is America and, something, freedom and liberty, Republicans.
Don't tread on me.
Exactly. But live calls Thursday, June 9th, 617-830-4750. We'll take a break and take your calls right after this.